4th of July weekend to everybody. The National Pickleball League, NPL, at Chicken and Pickle here in Overland Park, Kansas. Beautiful Overland Park, Kansas, a suburb of Kansas City. We are at the Champions Pros for Champions Pros League, the NPL second event on the schedule here in Overland Park. And we've got two terrific teams starting us out this morning. The Indy Drivers and the OKC Punishers, they both finished 3-1 in Dallas. We're going to welcome in co-founder, Mr. Ripskin, Rick Witskin. Great to have you with us, Rick, and we've got a terrific matchup to start us off at this event.
My, oh my, what a wonderful day. What a wonderful weekend. You know, I really like my life, Ari, but when I have an NPL weekend that I get to play in and witness, I love my life. And good morning, America. Happy 4th of July weekend. Thank you to all of our men and women that serve and have served. We love you. We played the national anthem, obviously, of America. We also played this morning the national anthem of Canada. So we have Canadian players in our league. We even have an Australian in our league and somebody from Singapore. So if you're watching from overseas or hearing about us, feel free to enter that draft in 2024. But, yes, we do have a great matchup between the OKC Punishers and the Indy Drivers. Let's go.
So today, you mentioned, Rick, doing the MC to start us off today, Canadian Independence Day. I thought there was going to be a hockey game breaking out.
Yeah, you know, the reality is that Canada has a pretty avid pickleball community. And you see a lot of different leagues they're starting and such beautiful terrain there. And actually, it's a little cooler. It's a little more fun to play pickleball in the summer in Canada than maybe what is it? We got to 106 degrees here in balmy Kansas City. Luckily,
Right.
we're playing indoors. That's what the 50-year-olds appreciate.
Very smart by the founders to plan all this inside the beautiful chicken and pickle facilities. And looking at this matchup, these are two teams you did not get to face each other in opening weekend. But OKC very strong, going 3-1. Their only defeat was to Austin Ignite, who was undefeated in Dallas, and that was right there, competitive down to the wire, 9-7 in favor of the Ignite. What do you expect out of this OKC team?
Well, I mean, to summarize the opening weekend, parity was so evident, and even team matches that back in June when we played that event, there were a total of 18 matches, and today there are only 12. So, you know, at the end of the day, you could have, 16 matches versus 12. So you had scores that were 9-7 or 10-6, but literally 11-10 in the third happened in 3 of the matches that it could have flipped and gone either way. So while the records do matter, and yes, we're both 3-1, everybody's good, and you cannot think that one team is going to be falling off the radar. In today's matchup, I mean, obviously OKC led by my incredible number one in the world mixed doubles partner Beth Bellamy, and you got a guy that was top 40 in the world professionally in tennis, Jaime Onsines, which obviously I'll be seeing them both on the court later today. But talking about these guys getting ready to begin for Indy, we got Rich Lopez and Chad Flynn making his debut for the NPL, and for the Punishers, you have getting ready to serve is Lance Cowart and his partner Alex Simon.
So it'll be the Iron Man, Simon, serving.
Behind the back.
Wow.
Did you see that?
And that drifts wide. What a way to start, Rick. I thought we needed you on the court for all the highlights to start us off.
Man, I guess I have a role model already that I didn't know about.
That was the Iron Man, Alex Simon, with a behind-the-back highlight film, and there he goes with a put-away. Good start for Alex, the triathlete from Brazil.
Obviously, I know my Indy players quite well, being teammates. I played Chad more in singles than I have in doubles. Played Rich a bunch of times. I know Rich's intention early on in the match is to kind of survey his opponent. He obviously hasn't played these guys very frequently, if at all. I don't know that he's ever played Alex in doubles, but Rich is a coach. He's helps run the facility in Oasis, Texas, and one of the things our listeners can appreciate is the way he surveys his opponents in the beginning. He calls it the collection of data.
Well, his nickname is Thunder as well, so he's not just collecting data. He's collecting some floor burns. We saw a complete layout in Dallas.
Yeah.
Ooh, good ball there for Simon. But the drivers keep it. Lopez to serve.
1-0.
Right at the feet of Flynn, catching him backing up. So you get a little thunder and lightning here. Rich Thunder Lopez, he will lay out Chad Flynn. He's got some terrific feet, doesn't he, Rick?
He sure does. He's really quick. He's got a really lethal two-handed backhand roll. It's pretty impressive. Had the good fortune of practicing with and against both these guys yesterday, and they looked like they were in good form, feeling good. And, you know, quite frankly, Ari, the whole vibe, even in the party last night that had a 4th of July theme, red, white, and blue, the vibe here at NPL is pretty special. People seem to be happy. They seem to be friends, and they seem to be able to, you know, turn on the competitive mode. But, boy, once it's over, you got a great relationships brewing. There's that backhand. He likes to attack. A little unconventional, but effective.
Ooh, just missing. Yeah, that's kind of roll with a two-hander. He's able to get that elevation, Rick, very close to the net. That's not easy to do.
No, and he attaches his left hand, which is pretty rare to see somebody attach their left hand for an attack below the net, but he's pretty good at it. Luckily, OKC has been pretty good at missing a few high volleys.
It is early. 7:30 a.m. start here in KC. Yeah, there's that left-handed roll you're referring to, Rick.
Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of movement on with his wrist to create that top spin.
Lopez going with that lofting serve. Ooh, Flynn told him to let it drop the last second. And nice attack by Chad Flynn. That'll be Thunder Lopez using that high lofting serve. Flynn coming into attack.
Our official today is Larry Scott, the husband of.
Well, that time Flynn using the one-hander. Nice little drop there.
Great drop.
Out of the air.
Husband of Julie Scott. And they are connected to Mr. Kyle Yates, a good buddy of mine and a heck of an open-level player. Rich is known for his lob. He's very good at maneuvering that ball.
Oh, ATP just long. Quite a point there. Yeah, Lopez not just bringing thunder. He's got terrific touch. Larry organizing the correct server here. It'll be Flynn.
I believe it's 6-1. A hot start for the Indy drivers who never played together.
What a pickup there by Lopez, and that just drifting long, so there is the side out.
You know, one of the fun things, Ari, of this competition is you get to play with a lot of different partners. And, you know, we've seen a lot of organic relationships on the court start because of NPL and individual tournaments. And I could see how Rich and Chad really have, kind of like you said, a thunder and lightning, fire and ice type chemistry. At least in this first game, they're off to a good start for the first time ever playing.
Lance Cowart, big drive. And a nice pickup there. A little half volley from Lance.
Probably ill-advised attack on the ball was tipping below the net. It's hard to roll that up and over below the net.
That serve deep. Lance Cowart, managing director of field operations for USA Pickleball. All-American tennis player at Abilene Christian University out of Texas. That one dropped. Fortuitous there.
And very deceptive.
Yes.
Everything about Chad Flynn is deceptive, including his hair. He's got 20-year-old hair.
Twenty-year-old feet, too. I think.
Yeah, exactly. The patented lob by Rich Lopez. He's not always trying to win the point on the lob, but boy, doesn't he set himself up for them leaning in and their opponents off balance.
Yep, drew the air there for Lopez.
See, again, when you have a balance that's shifting out wide, attacking a ball below the net is ill-advised. You know, it's kind of a catch-22 because Chad can do that better than most, but you got to be aware of your balance and the shift.
So side out at 2-8. Indy Drivers team owners Phil and Paula Cohn. OKC owned by Doug and Carol Rolls. And here's Simon. Simon pegging Lopez. Lopez has no problem after the apology.
And you can see Simon's a fit guy. I would not want to be in front of his high volley smash. I have played Cowart, and Cowart is a prototypical tennis player turned pickleball player. There's a tight call. We'll have to check that on the video later.
Yeah, we are on the opposite baseline. So a couple consecutive, trying to climb back in this one. Now 4-8.
Ooh. That's a makeable volley there.
So Flynn, born and raised in Minnesota, he's currently ranked third in the world at champion singles. What kind of adjustment is it for a really talented singles player to come out and be, that level in doubles, Rick?
Well, the irony is in this match you have two more prototypical singles players in Alex Simon and Chad Flynn, and you can see some of their tendencies resemble a singles tennis mentality. Obviously the adjustment of working with a partner and shot selection. It's so different. You've seen a couple low ball attacks when you really shouldn't, when guys are draped all over the kitchen, whereas in singles, a guy might be skirting across the baseline and all you got to do is hit the open court, or they haven't quite gotten up to the kitchen, and then you got all kinds of angles. So shot selection, I'd say, is the number one difference. And then obviously I'm a singles player and love singles too, but the depth of the serve on the singles and the depth of the return has to be super high quality, where you're almost willing to make a few more mistakes in singles just so you don't lay up a short return that your opponents can kill you on.
You mentioned Simon's prowess. He was ranked number 4 in singles in the Duper ratings about 4 months after he began pickleball back in 2022. (8-5-1).
Lopez throwing the lob serve, and that was really close to the fan. If it hits the fan, that's known as a permanent object, and you would lose the point.
But he gets the breeze from it, turns into a knuckleball. Huh?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Lopez attacking, get ball dropped a little low on the break. Yeah.
Even pros make those mistakes, folks. That's one of the most common mistakes in the game, is attacking balls below the net. So you see a lot of points are won and lost with the pros in that scenario. Singles, there's a singles drive,
yeah.
Right?
Big drive.
One of the things I like to tell my students at my camps is you don't really want to miss when your opponents are up, miss it long. It's not a good miss, right? I'll accept a miss in the top of the net over a missed long. There's another missed long launch.
So you would rather see a miss in the top of the net?
Yeah, absolutely. When your opponents are draped all over the kitchen line, yeah, absolutely. You want to aim closer to that net to make it an uncomfortable volley.
Good point there. Good scoop by Cowart.
Very good scoop. Rich had a great shot. Chiseled the line.
8-5. Very competitive here after a quick start for the drivers.
There
Oh, that's gorgeous.
There it is. He saw the opening. That extra little control with that left hand can just dip that thing down. You know, even though that ball was a little bit below the net, it had slowed down to a very manageable speed. It's something our listeners have to consider is how quickly is the ball coming and how much spin does it have.
Oh, Flynn set himself
Sure
up
did.
well. Flynn able to create, as Rick said, so much topspin with that left hand on the backhand. 5-9-1, game one. Second serve going to Cowart.
One thing about Simon is that he was the first man to ride an electric bike around the world. He told me that.
No way.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly the distance traveled, but he rode an electric bike across borders. It was super impressive.
Remarkable. I thought you were going to tell me around chicken and pickle.
Yeah.
That would be enough for me.
Yeah, well, especially when it's 106 degrees, that doesn't sound fun.
6-9-1.
Again, you see singles players just going really hard with those attacks.
Lopez, come on to himself, wanted to stick that.
One thing that happened a little earlier, which I was proud of, is the Indy guys took a timeout when they had lost about 4 points in a row. So quite a momentum shifts here in this match.
Yeah.
Good move.
Ernie, yeah, effective.
Good job, Rich. I don't know if that's allowed, but good job, Rich.
Co-founder Rick Witzkin, team manager of the drivers. Oh, terrific rally and point for the drivers, and they have a game one point available to them right here. 10-7-1. Deep return. And one got upstairs. Cowart takes advantage. Second serve.
Still game point here. The lob serve.
That's that danger zone, Rick. Dropping
Sure
a little
is.
low.
Sure is. Sometimes you want that finishing point of the game so badly that you're almost willing to attack something you wouldn't normally do, and that's typically a recipe for disaster.
Oh, terrific defense.
Good
and
reset by Lopez.
big come on for the drivers. 7-10-2. Oh, beautiful by Flynn.
You know, Flynn really sets up his partner well with that backhand. He attacked it into the body. Rich is expecting that ball to pop up high, and he's all over that. It's a really good play. That's
Also difficult to read, isn't it, Rick?
It is
His
difficult
two-hand?
because he can maneuver down the line
Yeah.
and cross court or into the body. You're right.
And different pace.
Good reset. He's there.
Yeah, he can just move you around with that two-hander, and there's the game 1 point for the drivers, and a terrific start to this action here in National Pickleball League from Overland Park, Kansas. We'll be back for game 2. Game 2. Lopez beginning to serve. Drivers take game 1.
Nice. Good defense by the Indy drivers.
Exceptional first point. Thunder Lopez to serve. He's been going with the
Lob serve.
high serves, bringing rain here.
And I know exactly why he's doing that, and I think it's a very wise strategy. And it's curious if our listeners know why he's doing that. The reason is these guys are really good, strong, solid core drivers. And if you make them generate all the pace, that's not as comfortable for them. Mick mixes it up, which you always should mix up your serve. You don't want to just keep it in the same serve over and over again. But he's lob serve in this match more than I've typically seen him.
And there it is again. Flynn able to direct that two-hander, and so difficult to read where it's going.
Once again, he did it on a ball below the net, but the disclaimer there is that his opponent was back off of the kitchen. If his opponent was at the kitchen, that wouldn't necessarily be the best shot.
And there Flynn attacking again with that off-speed serve by Lopez. Keeping the Punishers off pace, coming forward. Just missing with that lob.
Which is really good at that shot. And he's obviously doing it from a very low position, but a little wrist flick and racquetball in his past. He's got the flick down.
Lopez, terrific athlete, background soccer, baseball, racquetball, as Rick mentioned, football.
And a foosball champion. Foosball champion. And there's something I want to mention to all of our listeners that's really cool about Rich. And Rich has adopted 2 children. And a rarity, he and his wife have each have a child of their own and 2 adopted children. I've not met anybody in my life that has that type of chemistry with their kids and their wife.
Wonderful story. So many of the players in this NPL, Rick, just tremendous, not only players, but people.
You know, you live 50 plus years. You obviously have developed the talent. You're probably an athlete, having played other sports, potentially tennis. And there's a willingness from these NPL players to want to give back. And giving back to our league, giving back. Last night we had a trivia question of who has started pickleball programs in underprivileged areas and mental health areas and even prisons. And wouldn't you know it, some of our players do just that.
Not surprised at all. This is where it all starts.
And, you know, Ari, it's kind of one of the reasons why we like the NPL. We've got a seasoned veteran like you as the lead commentator, but bringing in some color commentator players that know these other players inside and out and some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. I think our viewers really appreciate that.
Seasoned is a nice way to put it, Rick, as I qualify for this league very easily in age, just not in skill, as I said.
Ooh.
Ooh.
The ball almost had legs.
It was 11-7, Lopez and Flynn in the first. They lead it now 6-4-1 in the second. There's that defensive lob. Just missed it a little bit wide, but you can see the touch that Lopez possesses. Quick hands there. Applause for Cowart, OKC team. fans getting involved behind the court.
As I mentioned, an ill-advised speed up when they were both on the kitchen line.
NPL founded in 2022. Champions Pro players, Rick Witzkin with me here, Beth Bellamy, Michael Hammer, Mike Chen.
Wow,
Ooh,
good backspin.
Look at that.
You know, sometimes I have students that have played racquetball and they have a little too much wrist action for their own good. But Rich has done a nice job being able to corral his wrist play, and he does it when it's appropriate, and he doesn't do it when it's not appropriate. And that's when the roller works so well for Chad, when they're pushed back. He can really carve it in so many different spots, right?
And there it is, Rick. Setting himself up for the slam.
Many times when Chad's prepping that backhand, it's a chess match. Where are they? Where can he get him off balance? He's almost thinking about his next shot right after he hits the prior shot. Good drive by Lopez with a really speedy, agile Flynn charging in. That's a little intimidating.
Yeah, you pointed it out. This tandem has never played together. They look like they've been working together for 10 years.
You can see the chemistry.
So second serve, they lead it 7-4-2. Looking to wrap this match up here in the second game. Simon,
Look at that.
some hops.
Very athletic Simon. He looks like he's 40, but somehow he's 50.
All-conference tennis player back in the WAC conference at Hawaii, Manoa.
Good reflexes by Chad Flynn.
And the triathlete, Simon, will serve. Big drive.
Ooh. Looked like a possible poach. I think there was a little miscommunication there. I hate to say it, but I've done that more than once.
We can picture that.
Yeah.
Also quality slice drop by Lopez there, keeping it out away from the poacher.
For anybody interested, there is a women's match going on right next to us, which is the Indy Drivers and the OKC Punishers. OKC is in the lead 11-1, and it's 8-8 with Pelage and O'Malley from OKC beating Bradley and Henthorne right now. But a close second game, so you never know.
Ooh, good quick reflexes by Flynn. Looked like Simon had that center courts with a winner. Quick hands defensively.
Bad luck for OKC, good luck for Indy.
Again, both these teams 3-1 in opening weekend action in Dallas at the beginning of June. Oh, went for the behind the back. We saw him pull that off to begin the match.
It's nice to see 50-year-olds being spirited and energetic before 9 a.m.
Isn't the challenge after 9 p.m., Rick,
exactly.
at our age?
Wow, great reset. Wow. That is an amazing reset. Game, set, match.
Superb play by Lopez and Flynn. I think, Coach Witzkin, you've got something here with this tandem here.
You know, again, have never seen them play together, but we know that Chad Flynn is super fast, and Rich Lopez is the master of disguise and lob serves and resets. And, you know, you're right about that, Ari. They may see the same side of the court again.
Yes.